One day I received a message from a colleague painter. It was a very short message. It said, "Titus, watch out that you don't become a potboiler artist." I may be not painting all the subjects I would like because I'm working for clients, but I am free. And I'm exploring other subjects and commissions and learning so much. All the energy is running through my whole being as a painter. If you want to sell, it doesn't matter if you sell art, toothpaste or running shoes. You have to learn how to explore the market and how to sell. It took quite a while before I noticed that my product is actually quite different than toothpaste and running shoes. But in the beginning for me they were the same. When you know you are not the only one in your product and you are not simply the best, then look for a kind of product without any competition. There is a lot to do this week. I'm going to the photo studio for pictures of 2 watercolor paintings. I made these for an office, and these will be printed on wallpaper and tables. You can see the making process of these paintings in video number 30 and 31. I am asked to advise in colors on the floor and the walls in his office, so it will fit my watercolors. I will go there later this week. Today I'm starting one of the most challenging commissions of this month. Challenging because it looks too easy. It's going to be a house portrait of a simple, lovely house with apple trees and flowers. And the size is small. I've been sketching this house on location in video number 19. The first decision is that I do not paint this as a house portrait. But I will paint this as a painting of trees with a house in the distance. The second decision is that I will play with light and shadows. The sun will be placed lower, next to the house on the left side. It's physically impossible, but it's a painting, not a practical. I find ways to make the subject interesting so I can rely on my fascination for light, shadows and depth. Actually, that's what all my paintings are about. It's the first thing that captures me all the time. Thereafter, I see the subject, which is reflecting these lights and shadows. Of course, this subject determines most of the painting. It can make an imposing art piece or even a more intimate piece of art. In this case, it's going to be a precious little painting because the client lives here. Clients have wishes, some don't. They only let me paint and the result will be a surprise. But others have more requests, and I'm learning to stick on the painting itself. Starting a commissioned painting is totally different than painting of a subject that you found by yourself. So there is a certain detour in the process. As long as I find something that catches me, a light effect for example, then I can make it. But the more commissions I've painted, the more I refuse requests for the painting. It's not that I don't like these requests, but the process will be more difficult and the results significant.
Zo lang beneden voor de deur te wachten?
Nee, ik had... Dus ik laat jou dit zo hoog mogelijk resolutie fotograferen. Ja. Ga niet hoog, want ik loop mijn laptop vast. Ik heb een werkkeuken van 16 gig, dus ik kan wel wat hebben. Ja. En dan...
Het gaat nu om eentje?
Nee.
Sorry? Leg maar daar even neer als je wilt.
Deze, daar,
ja.
dat is voor de tafels. Dit kunnen we wel op het juiste formaat gaan zetten. Want dit is gewoon 40 bij...
Ja.
Ik ga het zo even pakken de maat. Het is niet 40 bij 80, 160.
Met een zoontje samen, van 12, hè? Ja, vraag misschien. Jij wel lesgeven. Ook gaan mensen uitzoeken die bewonderen en die mooie sculpturen maken. Weet je, ik ga gewoon een leuke oude dag van maken.
Ja. Ja, ik denk het ook goed.
Ja, hier is het hier.
Ja,
daar is het
eigenlijk zoals het achterin.
langs die gebouwen, dat is
Ja.
eigenlijk wel geestig.
Ja.
En als het open is, ja, dan heb je een bredere straat.
Ja. Ja. Oh ja. Ja, dat is koud. En deze die raakt af, die is heel goed. Deze hier. Ja, die is warm. Ja, van deze kaart hier is dit... I always get the same WhatsApp message around this time. It's 8 p.m. now, and my framer takes this street when he's going home, and I think he had dinner somewhere or he went to the pub. But I'm still here working, and then he sees my van standing in front of this house, and then he always sends the same message: "Why aren't you at home now?" Yeah, this was really a busy day. There was a lot to do. I went to the photographer for these pictures for the wallpaper. I went to this office for the wallpapers to see the wall. I had to go to the shop for some new brushes and paper. I sent a few books. There was more to do today. Emails, phone calls. And I had to paint a house portrait in oil. So what I'm still learning is to put myself in this painting mood immediately. And that's not hard, because I love to be here, as you know, and there is no terrible manager arguing, or staff or colleagues who want to listen terrible radio stations, you know. And I realize this every day when I'm here. It's just me on my own, and I love that so much. But it's late now, so it's time to go home. Well, actually, this should be a video about selling art, finding commissions, and I must say that there's too much to say about that. It's too much for one video, of course, and I think the most important thing is said in the beginning, that I really believe that when someone wants to sell art, in the beginning there is no difference between selling toothpaste or art. And you can learn everywhere how to sell toothpaste. You can do courses or you can read books. And when you think that you know how it works, then you can find the difference between toothpaste and art. It's no joke. And then you find these kind of people who like art and who buy art. And I fortunately can say these are really lovely people, and they become friends as well sometimes. And everything I make is actually a painting for a client. So most of the paintings are commission paintings, and the free chosen subjects are paintings for exhibitions. That feels good, because there is I'm pushing myself all the time to do this, because it's my work. But on the other hand, I regret sometimes that I don't take time to play, you know, just to sketch for fun. I did this in holiday when we were on vacation with our kids, and I tried some watercolor sketches of a castle. Maybe you saw these videos in my holiday. I forgot these watercolor paintings, but next I worked on a gouache, and I painted my two sons who were drawing behind the table, and this painting did a lot. I think you don't believe how much this is doing for your approach to painting. I think because there isn't any fear when you want to experiment. And experimenting is so important when you make art. But when you want to experiment and you work for a client, there is of course a bit of fear that you do something strange that's too new, you know, or maybe too shocking for your clients. But that's not a good approach, because then you get maybe bored, or your work gets boring. So in that way, I noticed how important it is to do something for fun for myself. And this approach that I found out when I was working on this gouache, I think that was the reason why I choose gouache as well. It's a different technique than I used daily. And I'm still using this approach for this oil painting of this little house portrait as well. I was actually a bit nervous when I started this house portrait, because I choose to paint it just in front of the house, so it's flat. And I arrived there to do some sketches really early in the morning, but the light wasn't very dramatic. So I was a bit nervous. I thought it could be a boring painting, and the size is small as well. So as I told earlier, I closed my eyes and I tried to imagine what kind of painting would I like to deliver. And then I saw a painting with a more dramatic light. So at the end of the day, I didn't have any reference of that. I didn't take pictures of that kind of light, and I didn't even know if the sun could be so low over there, because I just decided to put the sun left to the house very low. So everything had to happen on the canvas itself, not from my laptop, not from pictures, but just me and the canvas. And it's unbelievable that in 20 minutes I reached this effect that I liked. And then you still think that you have to push it more and to work it out. But when you're really honest, you see that sometimes it's absolutely not necessary, because it's already there. So I believe this is going to be a lovely house portrait. I'm really happy with it now, and I'm looking forward to finish it. But now it's time to go home, and I thank you for watching again. Thank you so much, and have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next week.